Whispers started as nothing more than a spark, a few blurry airport photos, a couple of flight trackers posted by obsessive fans, and then suddenly, the entire internet was ablaze with one question. Did Wang Yibo and Xiao Zhan really cross paths in Tokyo? The idea seemed too wild to be true. Two of the biggest stars in China, both with carefully managed schedules and legions of fans who track their every move, somehow ending up in the same foreign city at the same time? It felt impossible. And yet, the clues piled up, one after another, until the story became too powerful to ignore. 4 days, the hashtags trended, #Tokyo Encounter, #Wang Yibo abroad, #Xiao Zhan in Japan. Fans dissected every grainy picture, every timestamp, every shadow that could suggest they were closer than anyone had realized. But what really happened during that mysterious trip? Let's step into the heart of Tokyo and uncover the mind-blowing story. The first crack in the silence came from Haneda Airport. A fan account posted a shaky video of a tall figure in a black hoodie slipping past the terminal gates. The clip was only seconds long, but the walk, casual yet confident, almost feline, was unmistakable. "That's Wang Yibo," one fan declared. Others were skeptical until someone slowed the footage, pointed out the curve of his jaw, the way his hands fidgeted with his passport. Suddenly, the timeline exploded. Barely 12 hours later, another photo surfaced. This time from Shibuya. A man in a long beige coat, half hidden under a baseball cap, was spotted at a quiet café tucked away on a narrow street. The fans swore it was Xiao Zhan. The way he tilted his head, the unmistakable smile caught when he briefly lowered his mask to sip coffee, it couldn't have been anyone else. Coincidence? Or fate? The city of Tokyo, with its neon-drenched nights and maze-like alleys, became the backdrop of a story that no one expected. Rumors began to swirl. Had they planned this? Was it just chance? Or was something bigger unfolding in the shadows of the Japanese capital? One fan claimed she saw two familiar figures walking along the Meguro River under the cherry blossoms. It was late, the crowds had thinned, and the night was quiet. She swore she saw Xiao Zhan pause to look up at the lanterns, while beside him walked someone with a familiar gait, shoulders slightly hunched in a way that screamed Wang Yibo. She tried to snap a picture, but the moment vanished in an instant as they disappeared down a side street. Another source, a hotel staff member who insisted on anonymity, revealed that 2 separate suites had been booked under different names but checked in within minutes of each other. The timing was too close, they whispered. We all knew. But the most chilling part. Someone leaked that late one night, the fire alarms went off in that very hotel. Guests scrambled down the stairwell, and amidst the chaos, 2 figures were spotted moving quickly, side by side, masks on, heads down. They weren't holding hands, but the closeness between them was enough to make anyone watching suspicious. Tokyo itself became a character in this unfolding mystery. Imagine the scene, narrow alleyways glowing under paper lanterns, the echo of footsteps on rain-soaked streets, the hush of the city at midnight. In this world, anonymity was possible. Away from the flashing cameras and the suffocating gaze of the public, the city offered something rare: freedom. There were whispers of a late-night karaoke bar, tucked on the 3rd floor of a nondescript building in Shinjuku. A waiter claimed 2 Chinese men rented a private room, ordering only tea and water. They didn't sing, didn't laugh loudly, just talked, long and quietly, as if the weight of years rested between them. The waiter remembered the way one of them sat, leaning back with casual defiance, and the other leaned forward, expressive, hands moving as he spoke. They weren't strangers, he said. The air between them felt charged. Like they had known each other forever. Another rumor placed them in Akihabara, blending into the sea of tourists, their masks disguising them perfectly. A fan swore she saw Xiao Zhan stop at a claw machine arcade while Wang Yibo watched from a distance, hands in his pockets, a rare smile tugging at his lips. He wasn't looking at the toy, she said. He was looking at him. But the most explosive detail came from a blurry photo uploaded at 3 a.m. A silhouette of 2 figures on a rooftop, Tokyo Tower glowing in the distance. They stood close, one leaning slightly against the railing, the other with his back turned to the camera. The uploader deleted the photo within minutes, but by then, it was too late. Screenshots had spread everywhere. Fans argued endlessly. Was it real? Was it staged? Or was it proof of the most secret encounter of all? What made the Tokyo encounter so powerful wasn't just the possibility that they had seen each other. It was the symbolism. Here were two men bound by fate, by a past project that changed both of their lives forever, moving carefully under the weight of their fame. To imagine them finding even a moment of peace together, in a foreign city where no one was supposed to know them, it was almost too poetic. And yet, not everyone was convinced. Some called it fanfiction gone too far. They argued the timing didn't match, that flight records contradicted the narrative. Others pointed out how meticulous both stars are with their schedules. How could they risk such a reckless meeting? But that's the thing about secrets. They live in the gaps, the moments unaccounted for, the stories that don't quite add up. Fans began piecing together their own versions of the Tokyo story. Some imagined them walking through the neon-lit alleys of Golden Gari, slipping into a bar where no one recognized them, sharing unspoken words over sake. Others swore they must have wandered through Ueno Park, sitting on a bench while the city slept, speaking about things they couldn't say anywhere else. The city became their canvas, and the mystery their legend. One fan theory gained particular traction, that the Tokyo encounter wasn't an accident at all. According to this idea, both men had received invitations to an exclusive industry event in Japan. A quiet gala, unpublicized, where top creatives from across Asia gathered to discuss future collaborations. If true, then the chance of them seeing each other wasn't just possible, it was inevitable. And if they did meet, behind closed doors, what did they say? Was it tense? Emotional? Or was it as simple as two old friends catching up after years apart? Some said the encounter wasn't about nostalgia at all, but about the future. That Tokyo wasn't just a backdrop for secrecy, but a city where plans were made. A new project, perhaps, or a quiet agreement to work together again when the time was right. The idea sent fans into a frenzy. Was this trip the start of something bigger? By the time both Wang and Xiao Zhan returned to China, neither had addressed the rumors. Their silence was deafening, fueling speculation even further. Paparazzi photos showed them back at their usual routines, calm, collected, as if nothing had happened. But the internet refused to let go. The Tokyo encounter had already taken root in the imagination of millions, blurring the lines between reality and myth. And maybe that's the true magic of it. Whether they truly crossed paths or not, Tokyo became a symbol. A city where, just for a moment, it felt possible that two lives forever entangled had found each other again. A fleeting encounter, hidden in plain sight, forever etched into the whispers of fandom history. Because sometimes, it doesn't matter if the story is true. What matters is that it feels true. And in the neon nights of Tokyo, under the cherry blossoms and city lights, the possibility was enough to change everything. So the question remains, hanging in the air like the glow of Tokyo Tower against the midnight sky, what really happened when Wang and Xiao Zhan were rumored to be abroad at the same time? No one knows for sure. Maybe we never will. But the legend of the Tokyo encounter will live on, growing, twisting, and taking new forms every time it's told. Because in the end, it's not just about two stars in a foreign city, it's about the story of what might have been. And maybe, just maybe, that's more powerful than the truth itself. It all started at Haneda Airport. That single clip, a shaky, low-quality video posted by a fan who probably didn't even realize what she had captured, ignited a storm. The figure in the black hoodie was blurred, moving too quickly, but there was something about the way he walked. Fans who had studied every move Wang made during his career swore they recognized the subtle swing of his steps, the way his head tilted downward as though always avoiding unnecessary attention. The airport's cold fluorescent lights made everything look more dramatic. He wasn't flanked by an entourage, no crowd of assistants, no security creating a barrier. He walked alone, rolling a small black suitcase that glided effortlessly behind him. To the untrained eye, it could have been anyone. But to those who knew him, every outline, every detail screamed familiarity. Still, doubt lingered. Why would Wang suddenly fly to Tokyo without prior notice? His schedule was usually airtight, and fans knew almost every public engagement in advance. That was when the second detail emerged. A sharp-eyed fan noticed the distinct luggage tag dangling from his suitcase. They zoomed in, enhanced, and compared it with older airport photos. The match was undeniable. The rumors were no longer whispers, they had exploded into certainty. But just as people were piecing together this puzzle, another shock arrived. 12 hours later, across the city in Shibuya, a cafe goer uploaded a casual shot of her coffee cup on Instagram. She didn't even realize what she had caught until followers pointed it out. Blurred in the corner of the photo, sitting by the window, was a man in a beige coat and baseball cap. Fans went wild. That posture, the soft tilt of the head, the familiar delicate smile caught just as he pulled down his mask to sip his drink, everyone recognized him immediately. It was Xiao Zhan. What made it more dramatic was the timing. Less than half a day after Wang Yibo's alleged arrival, Xiao Zhan appeared in the same city. Different outfits, different sightings, but the overlap was undeniable. Tokyo, suddenly, was not big enough to contain the waves of speculation that flooded social media. The cafe photo became legendary. Fans traced the exact cafe, analyzed the reflection of neon lights in the glass window, and even pinpointed the street corner visible in the blurred background. That small coffee shop, usually quiet and unremarkable, became an instant pilgrimage site. Some even returned to the cafe days later, hoping to feel the same energy that Xiao Zhan might have left behind. And here's where the story deepens. According to an eyewitness, Xiao Zhan didn't sit alone. The staff claimed that after the initial sighting, another man in a black hoodie slipped into the seat opposite him. The hoodie concealed most of his face, but the way he kept glancing around the room suggested someone who wasn't used to being out without security. The staff didn't dare take photos, but the description sent fans spiraling. Was this the continuation of the airport sighting? What if the man in the black hoodie was indeed Wang Yibo? Imagine the scene for a moment. Outside, Shibuya pulsed with life, the famous crossing filled with flashing billboards and endless streams of people. But inside that quiet cafe, time seemed to pause. Two figures, once inseparable in the eyes of the public, sat across from each other, away from the noise, sipping coffee like ordinary people. No scripts, no cameras, no expectations. Just silence and glances that said more than words ever could. One witness described how the man in the beige coat, believed to be Xiao Zhan, leaned forward during their conversation, his hands animated, his expression shifting between laughter and intensity. The man in the hoodie, the alleged Wang Yibo, sat back, more reserved, but his gaze never strayed from the person in front of him. For fans, this single cafe encounter became a scene straight out of a movie. The image of two world-famous stars, carefully disguised, meeting quietly in a foreign city, was almost too cinematic to believe. Yet every detail lined up too perfectly for it to be dismissed as coincidence. And then came the twist. Someone outside the cafe claimed to have seen the two figures leave together. Not through the front entrance, where anyone could have caught them, but through a narrow side alley. They moved quickly, side by side, before disappearing into the crowd under the glow of Tokyo's neon lights. The eyewitness described it as like watching two shadows slip away. It was the kind of moment that left the world breathless. Could it be real? What made this part of the Tokyo encounter so unforgettable was how ordinary it was. There were no grand gestures, no dramatic reveals, no official confirmations. Just two men, possibly sitting across from each other in a cafe, carving out a stolen hour of peace in the middle of chaos. It was subtle, quiet, almost invisible, and yet that's exactly why it felt so powerful. Because sometimes, the smallest details carry the heaviest weight. The airport spark and the cafe mystery were enough to set imaginations ablaze. Fans connected dots, drew timelines, and spun theories late into the night. Some insisted it was fate, how else could they both be in Tokyo at the same time? Others argued it was careful planning, a secret meeting only disguised as coincidence. And so the legend grew. Was Wang Yibo's late-night arrival at Haneda intentional? Did Xiao Zhan know he was coming? Did they plan that cafe rendezvous, or was it truly a chance encounter? No one knows the answers. But what everyone agrees on is this: those early sightings, the hoodie at the airport, the beige coat at the cafe, were the sparks that ignited one of the most dramatic fan mysteries in recent memory. And if those sparks were real, then the Tokyo encounter was only just beginning. Like, share, comment your thoughts, and subscribe for more dramatic updates.